welcome. This is day one of the Client Attraction Alchemy experience. I did have a few tech issues. I thought the live wasn't going to work, but we're here. We made it. Woohoo! So as you're joining, say hello in the comments. I want to make sure that this is working. I am going to quickly just do the @everyone tag to see if I can help people find the live. @everyone. Hang on, where's that gone? It's not allowing me to do it @everyone. Oh no, it's still not allowing me to do it. That's a bit interesting. There we go, @everyone, live now for day one. Okay, awesome. Right, let me get that set up and sorted. Let me see your comments. Is everything working? Yes, I believe it is. So I've got you set up on my phone so I can see all your comments coming in. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How is everybody feeling? Whew. Okay, so it's been a bit of a one getting here with you today. Number one, I have got a stinking cold. It's horrible. So I apologize in advance if I'm coughing and spluttering. I've gone deaf in one ear from the flight back. My ear hasn't popped yet. And my flight was delayed. I didn't get home till like 3 o'clock this morning. So I'm probably not quite my best today, if I'm completely honest with you. However, I am really excited to be here. I have got an epic 4 days lined up for you. We are going deep. I'm sharing it all and I am bringing it big time. So what I want to hear from you is, do you have pen and paper at the ready? Are you sitting comfortably? Are you ready to go? And most importantly, what are you excited to learn when it comes to client attraction? Why are you here? What do you want to gain from this experience? How could taking a step forward in your client attraction success transform your business? How could it change the way you feel on a day-to-day basis? How can it change the results? How can it change the impact that you're making in the world? And most importantly, how can it change your life? What are the things that you just dream of having in your life? The business flowing, the clients coming in, doing the work that lights you up every single day, but also you getting to live the best life for you, whether that's travel, whether that's time with family, whether that's time in nature, whether it's adventure. Like, what's the thing that turns you on? What's the thing that gets you excited? What's the reason really behind you being here, doing this, figuring out the client attraction pieces, building the business? What is it all for at the end of the day? Because before we even step into this, before we dive into all the things that you can be doing, both internally and externally, when it comes to attracting soul clients of your dreams, we want to get really, really clear on the why. Because the why is going to give us momentum. The why is going to pull us forward. The why is going to mean that you can show up from a place of passion and purpose every single day. And that means that even if you're having a day where you feel pants, like I am today, you're still going to have the energy. It's still going to flow from you. You're still going to be able to get out of bed in the morning. You're still going to be able to show up. You're still going to be able to deliver. You're still going to be able to live your best life, because it's not you pushing forwards. It's not this push energy of I've got to, like the little train that's like trying to get up enough steam, right? Instead, we want to be pulled forwards by our passion, pulled forwards by our purpose, pulled forwards by our vision and our mission. And the big picture reason that we're essentially doing all of these things. Because if on a daily basis, you're just building your business from I've got to build my business, I've got to do these things, it's kind of operating subconsciously, it's the tick list, it's not truly being connected into what you do, then the truth is you might as well be working a job. Because if you're trying to build a business from that place, it's going to feel really hard work. If you're trying to build a business from that place, you're constantly going to be searching for the answers, searching for the next thing, probably jumping from one fad to the next fad to the next fad. There's always like the next hot thing. You've got to get this, you've got to do that, you've got to be there, you've got to have this, you've got to be sharing in this way. And we can spend all our energy like skipping, hopping from one fad to the next fad to the next fad. Well, what I want to share with you this week is not the fads. It's not the next hot thing. What I want to share with you is the core, the heart, the soul of client attraction that has been the case for as long back as people desire to attract clients. I want to teach you how to do it in a super aligned way. I want you to recognize that there is no like one hit wonder formula, and that actually it's this set of ingredients that we're going to gather together this week so that you can create your own beautiful, super aligned client attraction formula. So it suits the thing that you share with the world, the thing that you sell. So it suits your energy. So it works in alignment with the picture that you have of why you're doing this, who you want to work with, the way that you want to work with me. So just tell me in the comments, can you all hear me okay? A couple of you are saying there's a poor signal. I'm not quite sure why there's a poor signal. Let me just double check. Am I back? I shouldn't have touched anything. Right, just tell me, am I back? Can you see me? Can you see me? Can you hear me? And more importantly, let me stop touching my Wi-Fi because I'm going to break things if I do. It's been one of those mornings, I tell you. And tell me if you're ready to go with this. Tell me if you're ready to actually feel more ease when it comes to your business. And I just want to be really clear, ease does not equal easy. Building a business, heart to heart, is not easy. It's going to stretch you. You're going to be in your growth zone. You're going to be having to do new things. So you're constantly going to be in a place of the unknown. However, you can be in the place of the unknown. You can be in the place of growth. You can be in the place of being stretched and feel at ease. So easy and at ease are two completely different things. So as we're building our businesses this week, as I'm sharing all of these kind of jigsaw pieces with you this week, the ingredients for your beautiful client attraction dish. Oh, that was Mary popping. I really want you to come at this from a place of not expecting it to be easy, but knowing that you can feel at ease as you do it. That being in our stretch zone, being in the unknown, is what allows us to grow to that next level. But it doesn't have to be push energy, and it doesn't have to feel scary, and it doesn't have to freak you out. Actually, we can allow ourselves to surrender into that next level, to get into flow as we dive into that next level, and to actually enjoy the expansiveness, the growth that we get to go through as we do this. So just tell me, are you with me? Give me a little like, yes, I am with you, baby. Okay. Those people who are having Wi-Fi issues, I apologize. My Wi-Fi looks like it's okay at this end. Obviously there's replays, but I'm hoping that it will just it will get there with you. Okay, love the love hearts, love the sharing. So what are we doing this week? We are diving into all things client attraction. I'm going to take you step by step through the ingredients that you can pull together to create your super aligned client attraction alchemy. We are not talking spammy. We are not talking cold messaging. We are not talking selling your soul to the devil. We are talking about doing this in a super aligned way that you can allow yourself to kind of shift into, grow into, and feel super freaking expansive in the process. We're talking about not just attracting any clients, but you becoming magnetic to your soul clients. And there is a huge, huge difference between the two. We don't want to be building a business with clients who are hard work, with clients who are misaligned, with clients who are demanding, with clients who don't recognize the value of what you give. How many of you feel like you've been in that place where you've perhaps attracted clients, but they've been a mismatch, where there have been clients that have been really hard work, when there have been clients that have been super demanding, where actually you've got a few, steps into it and you thought, oh my God, what did I do here? Like, what did I get myself into? In the early days of my business, this was something that I did again and again and again. And it was because I was attracting something of what was within me. So we want to make sure that as we go through this week, we're going to do the inner work together, because we create our reality from the inside out, right? So as we go through this experience, we're going to be tapping into what are we doing within us that's creating the external experience of this. But we also want to be practical. We also want to talk about strategy. We also want to talk about action. So I'm also going to be sharing with you what are the actual practical things that you can be doing in your business, again, in an aligned way, to start to see results, to start to grow. Does that make sense? Are you good with that? Okay. So tell me in the comments, you might have already put this, some of you, but just like in a word, in a nutshell, like, what's the real reason that you're doing this? What's the real reason that you desire to attract more clients? What's the real reason that you desire to make more money? What's the real reason that you're building your business? Like, what's the driver for you? What's the pulling force for you? What's the thing that's going to give you the momentum so that you get through those times where it does feel a little bit harder because you're in your stretch zone, but you pop right out the other side? I want you to literally pop it in the comments, and I'm going to read some of them out, and I'm going to just grab a tissue to blow my nose at the same time. Hang on. Right. Because you love what you do. Beautiful. Freedom. More choices in life. Yes. I have a message and desire to be of service. Beautiful. Freedom. More choices in life. Yes, yes, yes. What else have we got? Real reason and pulling force is what I am. It's, you feel like you're born for it. Yes, 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 yes. So, like, you're here because I'm here, right? There is a connection between the two of us. So that means that there are threads that we hold, the threads that we have in common. So I'm guessing that actually every single one of you here is, number one, here because you have that like deep pull, deep calling within you. It feels like, I was born for this. I was made for this. This is my purpose. This is my destiny. I might not know tangibly exactly what it is, but I just feel this pull inside of me, this pull for something more, this pull for something better, this pull for something bigger, this pull for something bold and abundant and beautiful that I believe is possible in life. And I don't quite know what it looks like. And there might be like this big void in front of you, and you might think, how the heck do I ever actually get there? It might even bring up those feelings of like, well, who am I to even do this? But aside from all of that, you still feel that deep down pull within you. So that's number one. You like feel the call inside of you to do this thing, to break the mold, to live life out loud, that's not a word, out loud, bigger, bolder, abundantly, like super alignment for you. Second thing I'm guessing that you probably resonate with is that you desire to create more freedom. You've recognized that money equals choices. That when you have more money doing the thing that you love to do, making a positive difference in the world, you're able to like open doors. You're able to have more choice about how you live your life, but also how you support others in moving out of their struggle and into their best lives. It's how we really make the difference in the world that we desire to see. So it's recognizing, well, number one, I want freedom for myself. I want to live free. I want to live full. I want to do all the things. I want to spend time with the people that I love. I want to travel. I want to like do the work that lights me up. And I want to be able to create a ripple effect from there, because I'm also guessing that every single one of you are heart-led entrepreneurs, right? So give me a little yes in the comments. Do you resonate with the idea of being a heart-led entrepreneur? And I want you to own the word entrepreneur as we go through this week, right? Entrepreneur can sometimes feel like this word that we put up on a shelf. We can be like, oh yeah, I'm not really an entrepreneur. I'm kind of building a little business. I'm kind of playing. I'm not there yet. I'm not an entrepreneur yet. Maybe when I've got a 6-figure business, I will be. Maybe when I've got a 7-figure business, I will be. Maybe one day I will have. But I want you to just own it. Because you are here because you have a dream, because you have a desire, because you have a pull inside of you. You already hold inside of yourself everything, all of the magic. So as we begin this journey together, let's just start by naming it, claiming it. I am a freaking heart-led entrepreneur. I'm creating a life of freedom. I'm doing my purpose work. I am creating the most beautiful, powerful, abundant ripple effect out there into the world when I give myself permission to receive with ease, to be 100% authentic, to set myself free in my greatness, in my awesomeness, in my magic. I'm activating that in others every single step of the way. So just give me a little like, yes, I feel it, I'm here, I'm naming it, I'm claiming it. No more playing small, no more diminishing, no more but. What I really want you to do as we go through this week is to begin to feel truly freaking worthy of it all. Because actually, when it comes to client attraction, what so many of us are doing without recognizing it subconsciously is we are holding ourselves back from attracting the clients that we think we desire, that we say we desire, because of this deep fear of unworthiness. In our heads, we feel worthy. Yes, of course I can help them. Yes, of course I can do this. Yes, of course I was born for this. But somewhere deep down in the depths of us, hidden away within our inner child, is that little voice that says, but who are you to do this? Who are you to do this? And what might it cost you? And what if it all goes wrong? So as we go through this week, we're just going to freaking step into our power. We're going to own it big time. We're going to play all out when it comes to client attraction in a super freaking aligned way. Yeah. No diminishing, no playing small, no second guessing. We're on it. I'm loving all the comments that you're putting in. They're so beautiful. Yes, 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 and yes. Owning it. Gorgeous. Okay, so essentially we have got 4 days together this week. And then next week we've got some masterclasses. We've got the icing on the cake. It's going to be epic. As I said yesterday, if you joined me for the kickoff call, there's a couple of options around masterclasses. So keep your eyes peeled because I'm going to be posting them in the group and you can share with me what you desire the most. But essentially, I'm going to be live every single day. Now, here's one of the things you need to know. As we go through these 4 days together and the masterclasses, to be honest, it's going to build. So today, we're going to start with the foundation, right? Because we need to set the foundation in order to grow something solid on top of it. Yeah? Are you with me? Let's build. Oh, I've just lost my thing. Let's build the foundation first and then build. So I'm going to start today with some simple stuff, some pieces that you know. But I want to make sure that we're all on the exact same page before we then step into this. Before we begin actually looking at some of those bigger pieces that make all the difference to your business growing, all the difference to you having clients who say yes to working with you, buying from you, all the difference to your bank balance, all the difference to how your business grows and the work that you get to do. So the first half of today, we're going to do a couple of simple things. The second half of today, there is a concept that I want to share with you that is essential. And this is like the first piece that so many people are missing, so many heart-led entrepreneurs are missing. And I want to make sure that you are not missing it. I want to make sure that you've got this piece. And even if you haven't got clarity about how you're going to be implementing this piece yet, I want you to at least understand the concept so that you can begin feeling into it. So just let me know in the comments, are you okay with feeling into the concept of what I'm going to be sharing with you today, the piece at the end of today, without putting pressure on yourself to have all the answers now? Because it's one of those pieces that take a little bit of time to brew, a little bit of time to plant the seed, nurture that seed so it can grow. So I want you to be okay in that space of the unknown, in that space of, whoa, like how might this grow? How might this look? What could this be? If I could choose here, if I could wave a magic wand, if I 100% trusted that I could build this business like 100% on my terms, doing exactly what I desire to do, being paid exactly what I desire to be paid, what would that look like? Okay, so I want you to do it from that perspective. Right, quick bit of housekeeping. Make sure you're live with me here every day. Replays are available. There's a workbook to go with every session. There's a competition that you can be in. Who wants to be in to win the competition? Number 1, like the video. If you haven't liked the video yet, do it now. Number 2, comment on the video. Don't be a lurker. Let's learn actively. So say hello now if you haven't yet. And number 3, do the daily task. I'm going to be sharing that with you today at the end of the session. At the end of the session. Those golden oldies who've done lots of experiences with me, is there anything else I've forgotten to tell everyone about before we dive in? Right. So, when it comes to building our dream business, there is this void, this gap, the unknown between where we are right now and where we desire to be. Now, this is the case with the small pieces like client attraction. So I want you to think right now, if you are on the island of where you are now, and there's this big gap, this gaping hole, but you can see the land, you can see where you desire to be over there. But right now you have no idea how to cross this gap, how to get past this space. And to be honest, it looks a little bit scary because it's this big dark hole. It's literally the unknown. And as humans, we like certainty. So the idea of the unknown can spark a bit of fear in us. It can make us think, oh no. It can make us look another way. It can make us try and find those like fast fixes that aren't really fast fixes at all. So I want you to just get clear on, where is your now? What does client attraction look for you now? How does client attraction look for you now? I'm sorry, my brain's not quite on pause because of me having a cold. So if I say a couple of stupid things today, I apologize. If I say a few words that don't make any sense, I apologize. A couple of hours sleep, plus sinus tablets, plus not being able to hear. It's weird. Right. So where are you now? What does your island of now look like? So, for example, it could look like I'm posting regularly, but hearing crickets. It could look like I'm procrastinating. I'm still not showing up because I'm not sure of what to say, or I'm scared of how people will judge me. It could look like I am showing up freaking constantly. I don't know why it's not hitting home. It could be, well, actually, I've been showing up for a while and my business has grown and I'm making money and I've got clients, but how the heck do I take that to the next level? How do I scale this? How do I grow this? How do I have more certainty within it? It could be, yes, I'm doing it, it's working, but it feels really hard work. It could be, yes, I'm doing it and I'm running strategies, but they feel really icky to me and I don't want to be doing them. It could be I'm a bit of a stop, start. I start and I'm excited, but then I get disillusioned and I stop. And then I have to rebuild all of that momentum again. So what does your island of now actually look like? And if you're thinking about where you desire to be instead, what does that look like for you? Because it's going to be different for each and every one of us. Does the island of where you desire to be look like 5 one-to-one paying clients a month? Does it look like selling out a group program every 3 months? Does it look like filling a membership? Does it look like filling a subscription? Does it look like making X amount of sales on your products every month? What is the island of where you desire to be? So that if you are thinking of it literally as, like, this is our little landmass here, and this is where you actually want to be. And we've got this big gaping void in the middle. Okay, so this is where I am now, and this is where I desire to be. Let's at least get clear on where I desire to be, because if you imagine, like, as I'm saying this to you, I've got like a picture of I've got a picture of oh God, like the Grand Canyon, right? In my head, I've got a picture of the Grand Canyon, and like I'm on one like piece of land on the Grand Canyon. It's like I don't want to be here though. Like I know this place, and there's not a lot going on. I want to get over there where there's more, where it's more abundant, when there's more happening, where I have more choices. But actually, which over there do I want? Because I could go over to that piece of land, or I could go to that piece of land, or I could go to that piece of land. And actually, there's different things on each one. So first and foremost, when I'm thinking about attracting the clients that I desire, when I'm thinking about moving to that place that I desire to be, I want to make sure that I'm choosing the right place. I want to make sure that I'm choosing the place that actually feels aligned for me, the way that I want to be working, the way that I want to be selling, the way that I want to be showing up and serving, not the way that someone else says I should be doing it. So let's get really clear. And what I'd like for you to do, just write that down on your piece of paper. What is your now, sorry. And write a brief description under your now. And then write under your desire what that is. I want to start, but I'm scared. Yeah, because it's scary, right? It's the unknown. It's taking that leap. And here's the thing. If we're here, if we're at one side of the Grand Canyon and we see the other side, not only is it scary, but quite honestly, we'd be total lunatics if we just took the leap and hoped and prayed that we would land on the other side, because the chances are we wouldn't, right? So what do we need to do? We actually need to build a way to cross this canyon, to cross this void. Now, there will be pieces of this which become known as we go through this week together. But there are also elements of the unknown, and it's in the doing of them that you create the clarity around them. Okay, so what we're essentially going to do is we're going to create your bespoke way of crossing this canyon, and you can decide how you want this to look. Like this could be the bridge, it could be the stepping stones, it could be the what's it called as a kid, where it's like you've got a rope on a tree and you like literally put it around your leg, woo, like Tarzan style, right? So we can cross this void however we desire. There's lots of different ways, but we want to do it in a way that lights us up. We want to do it in a way that it's aligned, and we want to make sure we're getting to the actual place that, like, our destination that we desire. We're not ending up somewhere else by mistake. Because if we do that, then we're building a misaligned business. And if we're building a misaligned business, it's going to suck the soul from the thing that we're doing, right? Okay, is that all making sense? So on that note, I want to know what some of the things are that you're struggling with. I'm going to go through these really quickly because I don't want to spend a lot of time on them. Foundation, we want to get to the juiciest stuff, right? So how many of you, and I want you to type the number next to this if you feel like this is you. How many of you feel like you struggle with clarity around your message? Who you help, how you help them. Now, there are lots of reasons why people struggle with this. This is like number one problem when it comes from getting where you are now to where you desire to be. Because very often, especially those of you who are building business that has like a spiritual aspect to it, a mindset aspect to it, it can feel really intangible, right? It can feel really like, well, how do I really explain who it is that I work with and how I get them there? Because it could be that person, that person, that person, that person, that person. It's not necessarily a mum who's 40. It's not necessarily like a guy who's 25. It's not necessarily a this. It's not necessarily a that. So we're trying to like categorize them on a top level, put a label on them. It's like, but it's not, it could be, but it's also not necessarily. So that can cause problem number one, right? And then in terms of you tangibly talking about the thing that you do, like how you help them, it can be like, well, I take you on this inner journey to unleashing your queen power, or like whatever it is. And it's kind of like, oh God, how do I actually put this into words? How do I actually share how powerful this is? And what makes it even more difficult is that when you're scrolling online, you probably see 1,000,001 other people doing the same thing as you. So then you get into panic mode. Then you get into scarcity. Oh my God, everybody is doing this thing. The market is saturated. Everyone's talking about it in the same way. I am little teeny tiny baby fish in this big freaking pond that is full of all the fishes. In fact, there are so many fishes we can hardly move in here. Like, how am I ever going to build my business? How many of you feel like you can like spiral to that place? And by the way, any of us scrolling social media can quickly spiral to that place, because the very nature of social media is it shows you more of what you put out. So if you just search once, one thing, or you read one thing in relation to what you do, the Mark Zuckerbergs of the world are going to be like, oh, show her more, show her more, show her more, show her more, show him more, show him more, show him more, like bombarded with all the things, send, send, send. And before you know it, you're like, how am I going to do this? But then there's someone over there, maybe even your next door neighbor, who's never even heard of the thing that you do, because they're in a completely different social media environment. They're in a completely different pond. They're seeing completely different content, and they're thinking the same thing about what they're seeing as you're thinking about what you're seeing, but they've never seen your stuff and you've never seen their stuff, because you're in two different ponds, and all you know that exists is the pond that you're in. But actually, there were all these different ponds all over the place. What was that film? It wasn't a film, it was a Netflix series, Stylo. Stylo? How many of you saw Stylo? And it was like, I loved it at the end where it showed like these people have been living in their stylo. And at the end, when that person walked out, like it was obvious, you could see there were all of these other ones in the ground. And it's like, yeah, everyone thinks that it's just their one that exists. But actually, there's all of these other ponds and they're all completely different, right? So that's first problem. The message isn't clear because either A, it's hard to get clear and share who it is that I'm speaking to. B, it feels untangible And C, I'm getting into scarcity around it because it feels like everyone's doing the same freaking thing as me. And I don't know how to share about it in a way that feels powerful, in a way that feels different, in a way that really shows like the impact of this work. Right. Okay. Yes, different ponds. Yes, exactly. Yeah, it happens too often. All right. So I know lots of you are resonating with that. Yeah, it feels too much info and very broad, intangible, huge variety of people. Okay, cool. So second thing is the message is too big picture. You find it too hard to, like, dare I say the word, niche down, because it's like, and it's this, and it's this, and it's this, and it's this. How many of you are multi-passionate? Multi-passionate women, multi-passionate men, multi-passionate goldfish. Like, how many of you are multi-passionate and you're like, yeah, it's this, and it's this, and it's this, and it's this. Now, this has been my story for my whole entire life. And it was a big thing as I was building my business, because I was like, but I want to do that, and then I want to do that, and then I want to do that. And here's the thing, as heart-led entrepreneurs, you're probably on this like fast growth cycle. So because you're growing at speed, the thing that you're doing next, this next thing, because here's what we naturally do within our businesses. And this is probably more specific for those of you who are service-based than those of you who are product-based. But even if you're product-based, you're probably going to notice things about this. We often desire to serve people, to work with people that we resonate with. So that means that very often they might be a past version of ourselves. So if we're on this fast growth cycle, well, that past version of ourselves is changing fast, right? And so it's like, I need to show them this. I need to teach this. I need to do this program. No, it's changed now. It needs to be this one. Oh, no. So it feels like, well, we don't want to like put ourselves in a box. We don't want to limit ourselves. But because we don't want to limit ourselves, we actually get into this sabotage space because it's too big picture. It's too intangible. No one really knows what we do. They're like, oh, yeah, Maria. Yeah, I don't. She does something around, like, she does something on the internet. Creativity, I think. Like, but I don't really get it. Yeah. So this is like the second thing. All right. Third thing is that you get too caught up in content creation. Whoa. What should I be saying? How should I be sharing it? Where should I be sharing it? I just don't know. Okay, I'm going to say this. And then you write it and you're like, oh, I can't say that because what will people think? Let me write this instead. No, I need to write it this way. It needs to be longer. It needs to be shorter. It needs to be thinner. It needs to be fatter. What image should I put with it? Should I have done this as a live instead? Oh, I don't want to go live though. Maybe I should record it as a video instead. Oh, but actually Claire said we should always have a call to action. I haven't got a call to action. So, maybe... yeah, I'm not going to go live. I'm not going to do a video because I didn't put a call to action on that. So I'm going to write it out again. Let me find a picture. Oh, hang on. Should I be posting this on my personal profile? No, maybe on my business profile. Like, where should I be sharing this really? And so creating content, showing up on social media, being visible, like becomes this really big, like overthinking machine and this really big task rather than something that's just like quick, done, out there. Like, 5 minutes, done and dusted for the day. I've shared my truth. I've shown up. I've done the damn thing, right? So we get into this kind of cycle. And there's a couple of reasons why we do it. Number one, because we tell ourselves we hate it. We don't like content creation. Now, usually we don't like content creation because we're overthinking, because we're afraid of what people might think, because we're not actually just speaking our truth. The most powerful thing when it comes to us showing up online is actually just being authentic and giving ourselves permission to speak the thing that we really want to say. But my God, most of us aren't doing that even in real life. Most of us aren't doing that with family and friends. So how do we get brave enough to do that online to a big wide world where people make judgments all the time, right? That can feel really scary. So instead, we kind of water it down a little bit. We kind of like, we write it in a way so that people will get it. People will like it. Oh, I write it like this. I'm not going to say that because that people might not be happy about that. Oh my God, you can't say that on social media. Oh my God, I can't say. What will people think? They'll think I'm a bitch. They'll think I'm hard. They'll think I'm this. They'll think I'm that. If I write it like this, people might get it a bit more. And how many times have you posted something and then like got into panic mode and maybe even deleted it? Because you actually gave yourself permission to speak your truth, and then you freaked out and you're like, what will people say? Quick, delete. Okay, so we want to get past that, right? We want content creation to be easy. We want it to come from a place of sharing our truth. But in order to do that, we need to start feeling worthy of our truth. We need to start feeling worthy of the message that we desire to share with the world. We need to recognize on like not just here, because we already know it here, right? I know all of you are like, I know it, but there's something deeper beliefs that stop me from actually doing it. Because it's scary. And because as a kid, how many times did you get picked on, laughed at, poked at, because you said something that didn't fit the mold? So we've all got like these fears baked into us to try and make us show up a certain way, share a certain thing, dilute our message just a little bit to make sure that like it hits the mark with people. But we actually need to give ourselves permission to begin showing up more authentically and tapping more deeply into our truth and doing it with ease so that it doesn't become this big, whole gigantic task. So actually it becomes something that's easy. And there's going to be days, by the way, where you think, I don't even know what my truth is today. How many of you are like, but I don't even know what my truth is, Claire. How do I share it if I don't know it? And there's going to be other days where you feel like, I don't even have anything that I want to say. Like literally, there's nothing I want to say today. There is, you're just judging how valuable it is. Because you've thought that thought a million times, you push it away as something invaluable. It's not worth showing up. It's not worth sharing. People don't want to hear it. It's like, eye roll. We've heard that one before. No, it's still magical, but you've got to recognize it's magical in order to be able to give yourself permission to share it, right? Okay, so the next one is the only people who are seeing your current content are the people in your current bubble, or at least it feels that way. Right? So how many of you get frustrated because you feel like you want to make sales, you want to grow your business, you're showing up, you're sharing content, but it's like only ever your mum who gives it a little love heart and like, or comments on it, or your best friend down the road. And it's like, oh God, like, when are people going to actually start seeing my content? When are people going to actually start engaging with my content? Yeah. And that can feel really frustrating, especially if you've just spent a huge amount of time trying to create this post that feels big and you want to share it with the world. And like, nobody even freaking well sees it. And here's the thing. When we're in that place in our businesses, it can feel like we're the only one. Me and the other people struggling. And we look at people who we aspire to be building like a business, like whether it's someone in your industry, like whoever it is. And we look at those people and we think, yeah, but it's all right for you to say that because like you've got comments and you've got likes and you've got people watching you. But I can't tell you how many times at the beginning of growing my business, even actually a couple of years in sometimes, I would go live, I would create a post, I would share something like from the heart and soul. Beep, 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 beep. I'd be like, what the actual? And then we can get frustrated. And then we're trying to build our business from frustration. And then we start getting in that push, but I've got to. And before you know it, we're a million miles out of alignment and we're thinking about getting a job and giving it all up because it's just too hard. And then we're trying to find people who are like, building a business is just too hard, isn't it? Isn't it? It is, right? It is, right? It's just not working for anyone, right? Well, no, it is working, but it's working when you're aligned. So we want to work through these things. Okay. And how many of you feel like this is the final one? You're just constantly not sure what you should be sharing where. You're perhaps showing up on a number of different social media platforms because you've been told, no, you've got to be on Facebook because Facebook is like the biggest social media platform and it has all of these options. And then someone else says, no, you've got to be on Instagram because Instagram is growing faster than Facebook. And then someone else says, no, YouTube is the place to be because people search specifically for content on YouTube. You've got to be on YouTube if you want to build an audience. And then someone else says, well, actually, no, since I started growing my business on LinkedIn, it has soared. Like the place to be is LinkedIn without a shadow of a doubt. And so you find yourself literally like hopscotching, and you feel like, oh, I need to learn how to do this. 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 And before you know it, you're not actually being visible at all, because you're kind of backstage trying to learn the things. And then as soon as you learn about YouTube, it's like, oh yeah, no, not YouTube. Someone else tells you actually it should be this, so you hopscotch over here. And so you're just spending all your time literally ping-ponging, ding, 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 you know, the ping pong machine, ding, 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 from one thing to the next, and you're not actually being visible in that time. And it feels like you're working really freaking hard, and you're asking yourself, but where are the clients? Why isn't this working? But when you look at it, it's like, actually, I'm not really being visible, because I'm putting all my time and effort into trying to figure out these things, into trying to figure out the next hot crazes, into trying to create content like this person said, and this person said, as this person said, and it's freaking exhausting, and I'm not getting results. So clearly, social media doesn't work. I need to find a different way. So then you go off social media for 3 months, and you try and build a business in person. And then you decide that, oh no, I don't want to build a business in person, because like where I live, no one will pay really for the thing that I do. And I've got no freedom, and I feel like I can't move anywhere. And I feel like I've just got this business that's stuck. Oh God. So you start the whole cycle again. Right, so let's just end all of that, right? Let's be like, no, hell no. I am no longer available for any of this BS. No longer available. I am going to build some really freaking deep foundations. Deep foundations. I'm going to figure out this for good. I am not going to jump on the next hot craze, because the next hot craze is not going to build this foundation properly. And I'm going to build my belief in me, my belief in my worthiness, my belief in my readiness. I'm going to finally give myself permission to be seen in a bigger, bolder, more abundant way. I'm going to freaking nail this. I'm going to build the 6-figure business. I'm going to build the 7-figure business. I'm going to build a business that is so damn big, it impacts lives everywhere. And not only am I going to do that, I'm going to do it 100% on my terms. I'm going to do it by actually truly positively impacting other people's lives. I'm going to do it from that place of recognizing that money creates options, that money will just amplify who I am. And so if I'm a good person who desires to do good in the world and I have more money, wow, think of that impact I'm going to be able to make. So holy heck, yes, let's do this. Right. So we want to stop posting everywhere all the time, because it's exhausting, it's a myth, it's a lie, and you don't need to. The Gary Vee days of you've got to post 10 times a day on 10 different platforms are over. They are over. It is not how people are consuming social media content. People's lives are busy. People don't want to like literally be on social media 24/7. So quality over quantity will trump it every time. Forget the Gary Vee world of 10 times a day in 10 different places, and let's instead focus on showing up powerfully. Let's instead focus on sharing our truth. Let's instead focus on sharing something of impact that comes from just a place of ease. It's authentic, it's true, and we're building real connection, as opposed to like surface level bullshit that's never going to make a real difference to people's lives, right? We're going to take our focus away from the numbers, because it is not the numbers that are going to build you an epic business. When we get all caught up in the numbers, we forget that we're working with humans. We forget that every single person counts, and it just becomes about the numbers. I only had 2 people who liked that post. Well, if I was one of those 2 people who had liked that post, and I heard you saying there was only 2 freaking people who liked it, how do I feel about how much you care about me? I want to be seen. I want to be noticed. I'm a human freaking being. I like that post because I was saying, I like this post. That's meaningful. There's something important about that. I don't want to be dismissed or overlooked. So let's stop looking at the numbers and start feeling the connection. Start seeing the person at the other side of the screen and recognizing that every single one person matters. And it is the one and the one and the one who's going to grow your business empire. Not I just need to find 30 people from the next program. No, it's one and one and one. And we connect deeply with the one. Right. We want to just give ourselves permission to stop doing the strategies that feel soul destroying. So if you've been told you need to cold message 10 people a day and it feels like it's icky as fuck, let's just say no. No, no, no. Because the thing that we should be doing when it comes to strategy is a strategy that aligns with the next level version of ourselves. Someone in one of my groups a week or so ago said, Claire, you talk about alignment, but what is alignment? What is alignment? It's a word that we throw around, especially on social media all the time. I use the word alignment all the freaking time. What does it actually mean? What are you aligning to? And this is where most people actually make mistakes, because most people try aligning to their comfort zone. I'm going to say that again. I want this to hit home and I want you to really feel this inside of you. How many times when you've been talking about whether something feels aligned or not, you've made that decision from where your current comfort zone is? Like, lots of you know that I bought a horse last year, who are in my world, so I talk about it all the time. Is going to ride that right now, I'm learning how to jump. It scares the bejesus out of me. I am so freaking scared of jumping. Already, I've nearly fallen off this horse many times. Many times have we gone up to the jump and I freaked out and he's gone like, ah! And I'm like, ah! Right? So here's the thing. Is jumping that horse in alignment with my comfort zone? Hell no. It scares the heck out of me. It's really scary. So if I was making a judgment on what feels aligned, would I be trying to learn how to jump? No, because I would say it's out of alignment. It feels scary. I don't know how to do it. I'm scared I'm going to fall off. Every time I do it, not every time, but I quite often make a mistake and I freak out the last minute. And I think I'm going to fall off. And I feel really bad for Jack. The horse is Jack. Because then I'm not being fair on him. And I love riding him and I want him to enjoy me riding him and all of these things, right? So it's like, okay. So what if I was aligning with that version of me? What are the new experiences that I would have in life? None. What are the new opportunities I would create for myself? None. Because if I was just operating in my comfort zone and only taking an action aligned to my comfort zone, there's no space for anything new. So when we're actually talking alignment, and when I'm talking about alignment this week, I am not talking about alignment with your current self, with your comfort zone. I am talking about aligning to that part of you that says, you're freaking well doing this. Something more is waiting for you. There is a next level. There is more available. Life can be freaking awesome. I want to do this in a bigger way, in a bolder way. I want to make a bigger impact. I want to transform my lives. I want to take my work out there to the world. I want to support as many people as possible doing it. I want to live the dream. I want to make this life matter. I want to live out loud every single moment of it. Well, if that's what we want, we can't make decisions aligned to our comfort zone. We have to make decisions aligned to our stretch zone. It means it's going to feel freaking scary. It's going to feel scary. But there is such a fine line between fear and excitement. Fear-citement. So when I get on Jack, ready to go and jump that jump, and I might have that like little breath of fear. Oh, shit. No, Claire, this is fucking exciting, baby. We have got this. We have got this. Come on, Jack. We've got this, right? And then it works. And then we make the jump. And you get that feeling afterwards. And it's like, yes, we did it. We freaking well did it. So the only way we can create that in our lives, in our businesses, whether we're riding horses or building businesses, attracting clients, whatever it is, it's got to come from that place of aligning to our desires, aligning to that part of us that already exists, that knows that this life is available. Now, I share this with you because I believe deeply in the quantum. I believe that we have different timelines working all over the place. I believe that there is this thing of quantum soup that literally holds everything that we could ever imagine, and it's all just there for the taking. And that essentially there's two ways that we can tap into the magic of the quantum. The first is to attune our frequency to the frequency of the quantum, right? So the quantum is the unknown. In order to do that, we have to attune our frequency to the unknown. When our frequency of the unknown matches the unknown frequency of the quantum, boom, we can access it. We can literally like reach into that soup of everything and say, this is it, please. Now, I've literally just been at a Dr. Joe Dispenza retreat, and this is what we were doing. That's the work that he does, right? It's all about the quantum. It's all about how you attune your frequency with the quantum so that literally you can reach in and take your desires. There is another way, though. There's two ways to do this. The other way to create from the quantum is to step into that next level version of ourselves. And I think that that's often an easier way for most people to access to begin with, unless you already meditate and do all those things. So as we go through this week, we're probably going to talk about it more from that perspective of like the future you already exists somewhere outside of time and space. Right? In the quantum. Like the quantum is the space that exists outside of time and space, right? So there's no timelines, there's no pathway. It's there already. So when we connect with that version of ourselves that exists in the quantum, that's already created all this, that already has all this, that's nailing it, baby. And when we align to that version of ourselves, boom, like we literally time travel to that version of us. Like the timelines collapse. And we step into that version and we can create transformation in our businesses like that. When we actually do it like that, it doesn't take 3 months, 6 months, 9 months to build the business. Literally, like the opportunities just flow. Boom, 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 boom. But they don't come from a place of just sitting back and being like, yes, I'll just be here, pretending that I'm in alignment with my future self by doing nothing at all. No, we have to be that version of us. We have to be taking that action. We have to be showing up in that way. We need to be sharing in that way, creating content in that way, attracting clients in that way. Okay. So I have gone wildly off track with what I was going to share with you today, but is this useful? So as we do that, as we go through this whole week, as we do all of this, as we feel into how we desire to attract clients, as we think about how we desire to build our dream businesses, as we think about both the strategies and the inner work, it all needs to come from this place. Because if it doesn't, it's a watered down version. It's a push version. It's a hard work version. And none of that is what we want to be doing. Or we're literally kidding ourselves because we're saying we just want to stay in our comfort zone. Nothing new is created in your comfort zone. Right. So I think we should skip forwards to the juicy bit that I needed to share with you today, as if that wasn't juicy enough. Like the quantum is the juice, right? But I want to talk to you today about powerful positioning. This is a really important element. And this is a concept that I want you to take on for today. Even if you don't know the answers yet, I just want you to hold the concept. I want you to plant the seed for the concept so that it can grow, so that you can build awareness around it. So this is the idea that there are actually two ways that we need to be positioning our businesses. The first way, like level one, is your brand. It's the big umbrella that holds all the different things that you do. Now, the good news about this, for those of you who are multi-passionate, do lots of things, big picture, intangible, is that your brand can be intangible. Your brand essentially is what creates the feeling in the person. So I don't know how many of you have looked much at my branding. It's called The Wealth Alchemist, Wealth Alchemy, and it's all about the magic. It's all about the quantum. It's all about the possibility. When I created my brand, I was not being super specific. I was going big. I was going expansive. I wanted to capture the feeling that lives in my soul that I want to share with you. So my brand isn't so much about like, I'm specifically going to teach you how to X, Y, and Z. My brand is more about helping you tap into the feeling that I have inside of me that I want to share with you. How do we put more wealth into the hands of everyday people like me, like you? How do we give ourselves permission to step into that quantum and recognize that we are worthy of it all? How do we give ourselves permission to be wealthy in the work that we do and receive with more ease? It's all about essentially you living your most quantum life with all the magic that it encompasses through building a purpose-led business, right? So my brand is quite big picture. It's all about the feeling, and yours can be too, right? Here's the thing though, within your brand, which is like step one, you then get the specifics. So I always talk about this as being like the umbrella. I don't know why. It just came to me the first time. There's probably a different concept I could use around it if I wanted to, but this is how I just see it in my head. Our brand is the umbrella. And those of you who work with me, have been in my programs, have even done my free stuff before, you'll have heard me talk about this, but it's such an important concept, right? So the umbrella is our brand, right? It's the feeling. It's that like thing that if we could make tangible the intangible and share it with people, we would. So this is a brand. And by the way, let me just get really clear with you all. This is not about spending a ton of money on beautiful branding. Right now, Canva, one tool, has more than enough for you to create a beautiful brand all by yourself. So you don't need to go out there and spend thousands of pounds with a branding expert. This is not about that. This is not about going and creating a website and this and that. This is about you going, okay, what's the feeling that I desire to share? What's the thing in my soul I want to share with the world? What's the big picture that really excites me? Yeah? This is your umbrella brand. Now, within your umbrella brand, you've then got all the things that live underneath it. These are essentially the different things that you help people with or your different offers, right? So within my umbrella brand, I have different offers. I have like my academy, which is all about like, it's the marketing, it's the building your business, right? How do you build your business? How do you show up? How do you build an audience? How do you sell? Like, this is it. But I also have my impactful coach. This is how do you become a super powerful aligned coach? But I also have my membership that inspires people. And I also have like some more of the energy work. There's going to be some more pieces around this coming actually. So we have, our brand can be big, but our offers are specific. And when we're talking about our offer, we get really freaking specific as we can. But it doesn't limit us because it's not the only thing we do. It's one of many things that all come beneath our brand. And this is how we make sure that people don't get confused, because it's like, oh yeah, like Claire's brand, she helps people build purpose-led businesses. And it's all about the magic and the quantum and the strategy. Like the soul meets the strategy. It's about authenticity. It's about connection. Yes, 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 I get it. Oh, which program do I want to do with it? Do I want to learn how to really build my business step by step, learn it all? Do I want to learn how to coach really powerfully, not by putting myself in a box, but by really like following my intuition and embodying it all? Do I want to really like lean into giving myself permission to receive with ease, like feeling truly abundant? And so within this is where we get specific. So we have both, like the yin and the yang, right? We have the broad big picture so that you don't feel niched down, so you don't feel in a box. And we have the specificness that activates the soul client for that offer. Yeah? So we get both big picture and specific. This is what we need. If you're currently, I want to know this in the comments, tell me this in the comments. How many of you feel like you've just been building the umbrella and it's the big picture, but there's no specific pieces underneath? And how many of you feel like you're just building the specific pieces underneath, but you haven't been able to tie it together under an umbrella, so it feels like it's itty and bitty and all over the place and you confuse your people? And how many of you feel like, none of it, I'm so confused? So I either want you to write in umbrella if you feel like your main focus has been the umbrella, but you're missing some of the pieces. Or I want you to write like the specifics, or you can just say it's a bit of a mess or whatever works for you. Okay, you have both, but they're not tied together. Yeah, so we need to tie them together. This is where suddenly what you do is going to make so much more sense to your people. Right, so here's what often happens. If you're doing umbrella, people might be watching you, but one might not be interacting with you and two not buying from you because they don't really understand specifically how it's going to help them. If you're focusing on the specifics, but it hasn't got that bigger feeling, the expansiveness, people might not buy from you and might not comment because it's not hitting the heart. It's not like magnetizing them. So we want it to have the magnetism of the umbrella and the specifics, the certainty of the offers underneath it. So it's like, so in a way your brand is magnetic. Oops, my pen stopped working. Your brand is magnetic, if you can see that. This is magnetic and this is certain. And when people buy, by the way, they want to feel certainty, like, okay, I get it. This is how she's going to help me or he's going to help me. And this is specifically how. Okay, boom, boom, boom. And there's that feeling inside of it that says, this is the person for me. This is the way I want to work. This is it. And that magnetism is not something that some people have and some people don't have. That magnetism is something that you literally like create. You alchemize it within your business. Umbrella, but I've been procrastinating as the fear sets in. Okay, so we need to change that. All right, so this is the first concept that I want you to take away today. Can you sit with this? Can you feel into this? Not from a place of needing to know the answers now, but from a place of planting the seed. Just give me a little yes. Like, yes, Claire, yes, Claire, yes, Claire. We promise we will do this. Now, what else did I need to share with you today before we finish? Right, so the final thing that I want to share with you today is actually part of the workbook. So this is really about, this is like almost like, so okay, first mistake, first problem that people have got, too intangible, not specific enough, don't want to put yourself in a box. So this is where the umbrella and the specifics are going to help you. Second mistake is people don't really understand why. They don't understand the value of working with you, right? So they're not taking notice of your social media posts, you're not building an audience, and you're struggling to sell. So let me share my screen with you if it lets me. I'm hoping it will. All right, so this takes us to this, which is, this, by the way, is your workbook for today. I'm just going to check it comes up on the screen. Hang on. Yes. Boom. Yes. Gersa, I am like a gardener. I love to plant the seeds. Beautiful. Right. So I want you to begin thinking about your client journey. Now, I know, and we haven't talked about this yet, we are going to talk about it later this week, who your soul client is, so that you've got clarity on that. But to begin with, I just want you to start thinking about what is that overall point within your business. Now, there are two ways that you can do this. You can look at it from the brand point of view, the umbrella point of view. So if you need to work on your umbrella, do this from the umbrella point. If you need to work on the specifics, do this from one of your specific offers. So I want you to think about, where is your client when they first step into your world, and what is the thing that they desire? It's literally the conversation that I was having with you at the beginning of today, saying, here, the land of now, the land of where you want to be. Where is now? Where do you want to be? It's this, the problem, where I am now, and the solution, where I desire to be. Are you with me? Is this making sense? I'm going to share the workbook in the group, Sarah, don't panic. I'm going to email it out, number one, and I'm going to share it in the group, number two, as soon as I finish the live. So we want to just get clear on this, and I want you to write this down. So my soul client is here when they come into my world or when they go through my program. And this is where they desire to be. And then I want you to map out a little bit. What are the points? What are the main points on this? So that you're really starting to think a bit more strategically about the journey that you take your client on. And I want you to think of it as a journey, because we can connect more with a journey, right? So this is kind of step one. I want you to feel into this. you don't need to, it's completely up to you how you work. You can either get really specific and put all the things, or you can keep it quite big picture. But this leads us to like the real work today, right? Because this is a really important element of this, is beginning to become more specific with the outcomes. So this is for those of you especially who know that you get really big picture and you can't get tangible. When we break it down like this, it becomes a little bit easier to start thinking about. So when you think about the work that you do, the thing that you sell, whether it's a product, whether it's a program, whether it's your overall umbrella, I want you to think about what are the internal outcomes for your soul client. And when I say internal outcomes, I'm talking about emotional outcomes, right? So if I was creating like a coaching program around anxiety, what are the internal outcomes that my client wants? Well, she wants to be free of anxiety, right? She wants to wake up in the morning feeling at peace. She wants to wake up in the morning feeling excited about the day. She wants to feel in flow. She wants to trust the decisions that she makes. She wants a full night's sleep. That's tangible, full night's sleep. Did you notice the difference? So this is, if you don't know, so Claire says, what if you're not 100% sure on what your offers are yet? Think of this in terms of the bigger picture of your business, the umbrella, if you don't know. So if you are like, I have a coaching business that, and we do, is like one-to-one coaching for transformation. Okay. So let's think about, why would anyone want a transformation? What's going on emotionally for someone to want a transformation? They're feeling stuck. They're maybe feeling bored. They may be feeling frustrated. It feels like life's not moving forwards. It might be one step forwards, two step backs. This is the kind of thing. And then on this side, I want you to think about the tangible outcomes. What actually changes? Like, so for example, when someone's happier, their sex drive goes up. They might have a better sex life. They might have a better relationship with their partner. Well, that's actually tangible, right? It might be that they start showing up work. They're not having sick days. They're like showing up with a smile on their face. They get a raise. It could be that they walk into the boardroom with their head held high and like nail the thing. It could be that they finally begin having the conversations in their life with the people who they've had difficult relationships with. So I want you to like feel into both of these elements for you. And as I say, you can either do it from an umbrella perspective or a specific program perspective. How we build the connection between one and the two. I'm not quite sure what you mean by that. Is this making sense? And have you got any questions about it before I move on? This is going to be different for each and every one of you. Some of you are going to find it easy and you're just going to be like, some of you are going to find it more difficult. Depending on your business, you're either going to find that you have lots of emotional, but maybe not so tangible, or lots of tangible, but not maybe so emotional. Your goal is to try to like level them out a bit. Think of the scales. If you naturally have lots of emotional, I want you to think about what is the tangible? What is the tangible? And if you naturally have lots of tangible, I want you to think, but what are the emotional? What are the emotional? Because when we're selling, this is like the magnetism. The magnetism is the emotional, and the certainty, the specificity is the tangible. When we sell in our business, we need both for people to buy. So when you're thinking about the growth of your business, let me just share this for a moment. Stop sharing for a moment. When you think about the growth of your business, if we want to get your people to a place where they're ready to buy, we want to work backwards from there. Okay, so if this is what they're going to buy, and this is the emotional piece, and this is the practical piece, the tangible, like, how am I talking about this in my social media? How am I being visible around this? How am I building my audience around this? So you might be thinking, hang on, Claire, this is more in relation to the sale than in the client attraction. But when it comes to client attraction, we want to keep the sale in mind, because we want to be attracting the client who will be ready to buy. Yeah, the client who's going to say yes, because they have the emotional needs and they have the tangible needs. So when they see you, when they spot you, when they connect with you, when they begin following you, it means they're then going to buy from you because you're the right match in every way. Are you with me? Okay, so takeaways from today. Two ways that we can create: by attuning to the frequency of the quantum, or by stepping into that next level version of us who already exists in the quantum. Recognizing that that's what we're aligning to, not our current comfort zone, right? In our journey to authentic client attraction, ripping up the rules and recognizing that we can do this in an aligned way on our own terms. Noticing where are the mistakes and the blockages that are currently holding me back. We did that at the beginning of today, so we can begin overcoming them, right? And then starting to think practically about how we position our brand and our business, from the umbrella and the offers underneath it, the feeling and the certainty of the specificity. Then taking that a step further and really tying it into the outcomes our soul clients desire. Emotional, tangible, right? We've covered a lot today. There's a heck of a lot more to come. I don't want you to put pressure on yourself to have the right answer with this. I want you to allow it to absorb, allow it to mix, see where it takes you, plant the seed, but do the work. And even if right now you're thinking, oh my God, I don't even know how to do this, Claire. If you're thinking, I don't know how to do this, just start writing something and see where it gets to, because clarity comes from action. By actually doing the thing, you're going to get more clarity. And for those of you who might be thinking, oh, well, I've done this, so I don't need to do it again. So this is like calling out any of you who are like, I've done this, I know this. I want you to stretch yourself with this and think about if you were really, truly building your business for that next level aligned client, because quite often we play small when it comes to clients. We don't speak to the real person who we really want to be working with because we doubt ourselves and we hold ourselves back. Then how would it look? What are some of the things that you're holding out on when it comes to what you do, your message, who you help, the emotional, the tangible? If you are no longer playing small, you are owning your magic big time, unapologetically, then how would this look? So for those of you who are struggling, like, I don't even know where to start, just start, because clarity will come from action. For those of you who are like, I don't need to do this, I've nailed this. Well, I tell you what, I've got a 7-figure business and I'm doing this work all the freaking time, because this is the stuff that makes a difference. This is the stuff that helps you connect. This is the stuff that keeps you on purpose. This is the stuff that means that you're really creating from that place of aligning to your next level and not getting stuck in the past, not getting stuck in your comfort zone. Right, that is day one complete. Your task now is to go do the daily task, to find the daily task thread, and to share this work in that daily task thread. Because number one, we rise by lifting others. You're going to inspire other people. Number two, me and my team will see it. We'll write your little comment on it. Number three, it's just that whole accountability thing, right? And we want to put into action everything that we're learning so that it sticks. So that it sticks. I will see you tomorrow for day 2. I'm hoping that I'll be able to hear and that my cold won't be feeling too bad. But I think like we got the message across, right? Like we still did good today. I feel like we rocked and rolled this session, even though I've been feeling like pants. We are going to dive into day 2. So there is a lot to come. Showing up for day 1 is reasonably easy. My question to you is, can you also show up for day 2, 3, and freaking 4 and really do yourself and your business a favor so that you nail your client attraction, so that you really do start seeing the results that you desire in your business now? If you've got besties, invite them in. The more the merrier. It's not too late to begin this journey with us. I really want to make sure we get this message out there to as many people as we can, so that every person who's building a heart-led business can really go out there, because this is what the world needs. People building a business from heart, from soul, dropping the hustle, dropping the fakery, dropping all of those things. Let's build a revolution, baby. Okay, I can't wait to see your comments in the day 1 thread. I'm going to go lie down for a bit. I will see you for day 2 tomorrow. Mwah. Thank you so much for being here with me. I've had a blast. I hope you have too.